You've more than likely seen this disclaimer before. It's the one that plays before a movie premieres on TV. It's the one that reads, "This film has been modified from its original version and has been formatted to fit your screen." But what exactly does this mean, and why does it ruin the artistic intent that the original movie had? Let's talk about it. This disclaimer basically means that the original aspect ratio of the movie that's playing has been changed to the aspect ratio of your TV. What is aspect ratio, you may ask? Aspect ratio is the mathematical ratio of the width and height of the screen. Those black bars on the top or sides of the screen, that's aspect ratio. Most phones, TV sets, and computer screens are set to an aspect ratio of 16:9, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's take it back a bit. From the birth of cinema all the way to the 1950s, movies have been presented in a tight, boxy 133 or 137:1 aspect ratio, or 4:3 in simpler terms. When TVs emerged in the 1940s all the way to the 1990s, they were given a fixed 4:3 aspect ratio for their screen since, that was the industry standard. This would prove a problem, however, during the 1950s when much wider aspect ratios such as 235:1 were introduced. You see, if movies were made in a 4:3 aspect ratio and there was a TV that had a 4:3 aspect ratio, there would be no problem just plopping that movie into that TV screen. When movies with wide aspect ratios were put into a narrow TV screen, they were too tiny to actually see what was going on.
Now our feature presentation, Lawrence of Arabia, presented in its original Ultra CinemaScope letterbox format.
Well, I can't see anything.
Because of this, any screen, such as a TV or a phone or a computer screen, had to be set to 16:9, since it was the only aspect ratio to be able to present both movies with both aspect ratios, whether it be wide or narrow. This is where this infamous disclaimer comes in. If you showed a narrow or wide aspect ratio on a 16:9 screen, there will be black bars presented on the top sides of the screen like mentioned before. To combat this issue, showrunners decided to, you guess it, modify the aspect ratio of the original film, aka they zoom in all the way so that everything fills up the whole screen. That way there would be no black bars. However, this completely dismisses any artistic intent that the director wanted. I really hate to be that guy, but this isn't how the director wanted the audience to see the movie. To understand what I'm talking about, we'll take a look at this post showing what Disney Plus is doing. For context, Disney Plus is showing reruns of old episodes from The Simpsons. These episodes were originally made in a 4:3 aspect ratio since, like mentioned before, most TV sets were set to these aspect ratios in the 90s. But since the industry standard right now is 16:9, Disney, being the artistic geniuses that they are, decided to crop out the top parts of the original film in order to fit your screen. However, this crops out the punchline of most of the jokes found in this show, just as presented in this post. Sure, this small edit may not even mean anything in the bigger picture. Some of you guys may not even care at all. However, if it doesn't make a difference at all, then why go out and do it in the first place? It's not doing anything but making this slightly worse. In fact, wouldn't it take more effort to fix this quote-unquote issue? I don't know. I don't even know, dude.